Okay, welcome back. Good afternoon. Today we're going to be tying a flying fire ant. This is a fly that I kind of morphed from one of my father's recipes that he followed back in the day for his ants. His didn't have wings, but or Sili Legs on them. I think that actually looks pretty good. That's actually a pretty big hook. That's a size 10 saber. What is that? Saber hopper terrestrial hook, size 10. I'm actually tying this for a little fly challenge on one of the Facebook pages that I frequent. Surely you're not going to be the winner because some of those winners are pretty fancy. A lot of different materials. This only has a few. A hook, thread, elk hair, and the Sili Legs. That's all the materials that you need for this. So let's get started. Like I said, what I have on the hook is a size 10 hopper terrestrial Saber 7017. Pretty big hook, pretty big fire ant. Thread I'm going to use is what I put in here. It's an 8/0. It's Unithread 72 denier 8/0. It's rusty brown is what they call it. Go ahead and start your thread on. You want to start it from behind the eye. Work your way back. Oh, tighten her up too much here. Just take it back a little bit. Here we go. Alright, take your thread on the way back. You don't need to have touching turns quite at the moment. Just to get a little base going. Take your thread all the way back to past the top of the bend of the hook here. About like that. Bring your thread back to about the 1/4 point back up front. Cut away your tag end. Okay, the deer hair, or actually the elk hair that you're going to use on this one, you can use deer hair or elk hair. I'm using elk hair primarily because it's a bigger hook and the color is right. And you kind of need a whole long section of hair to tie this fly. This elk hair has a lot of fluff in it, has a lot of short hairs in it, so it takes a little bit of a cleaning out to do, which did take me a little while to do. That's why I did it on before I started filming here. Got it in my stacker. You want to make sure all the tips are aligned, and you want to cut away all the butt sections so they're all aligned. You want to get them all pretty close to the same length. You can see there's not some that aren't lined up, but as long as they're close enough to where you can get them tied in there. You want to start with a bigger section off the pelt than you think you need, because you do a lot of stripping of this particular one here. You can get a better quality one, but when I bought this at the fly shop, I chose it for the color, not necessarily the quality of it. I see that it had a lot of fluff in it, but it is what it is. If I sound a little stuffy, I had sinus surgery yesterday. Not allowed to go fishing quite yet, so I'm going to do a little tying for you. I see a broken end in there I want to get rid of right away. Get rid of that. Alright, so now I want to add a little wax to this thread. I want it to bite into the hair. This is old wax, old tying wax from decades ago. Trick to this fly, more than anything else, is you have to get your length of your elk hair correct. First couple flies you tie on this, you're probably not going to do it right. At least I didn't do it. You want it to be 1, 2.5 lengths of the shank of your hook before you start tying it in. The reason being is this elk hair on this fly is all one section, wing, body, and all. So you want to make sure you have enough to do that with. Lay it right on top, gently, loosely wrap it in. Bring it back just a little bit here. Watch the hook point. Go ahead, tie it in. You can go ahead and flare it out a little bit. Wrap it up through. That way you get a good, secure tie. Bring your thread back over top of the elk hair. Make sure you don't break this thread. I've been breaking this thread. It's a little fragile, but I do like the color of it. I did see I have a little thicker one up there in this color, but we're going to do this. If it doesn't work out on film, I'll do it again. I'll get a bigger, excuse me, get a thicker thread there. It looks like it's going to work out. Alright, wrap it back up. Wrap it back up through. Get your scissors. Cut away the excess stuff here that you don't need. It's actually not a bad fly to tie. It comes out pretty quick once you get them rolling. Of course, everything on film is a little slower. I noticed the last fly that I tied was like a 17-minute video. And I tied myself, and it was under 10 minutes tying it. Just casually tying it too, so. Excuse my stuffiness. Man, am I stuffy up. Alright, so. Let's go back. Strap a little in here a little better. That looks pretty good. Alright, now you want to bring your thread back up to about the midpoint of the fly there. You want to grasp everything and just fold it right over top of itself. I tell you what, I want to go up a little farther on the thread. A couple more wraps. Eyeball it to right about there. Wrap it over. Don't get too crazy on how tight you're going to do it. You don't want all that flaring out on you. A couple good little wraps there. Just like that. Looks like I missed a hair or something, didn't I? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright. Oh yeah, I did. Let's get that away now because it's going to bother me. I guess you don't want to play along. Alright. Now we're going to take some Sili Legs. These are, let's see what brand I got here. TCO Fly Shop, I got these at. Sili Legs, out in Bowling Springs. Now, what color are these? Orange. Perfectly barred orange is what they say. Pretty small. That's why I bought them. I like the color of them. I didn't really have a need for them, but you know, when you walk into a fly shop and you see something you like, you know how that goes. Make sure you trim up the ends of them to make sure they're nice. You're going to cut this into fourths. So basically double it over one time. Take your next section. Double it over again. And there you go. Let's go ahead lay one on the side here. It's barred on the one side and not so barred on the other side, so make sure you have the printed side facing out. That'll help you look a little better on camera there. Alright, give it a little wrap. Now you can do the same on your side. couple wraps. Adjust it. About like that. Alright, now you're going to take all your hair, pull these back out of the way. They'll want to wrap a couple more times in there. Just for a little security there. Alright, everything's even. Take your Sili Legs, pull them back out of the way. Pull your dare hair up, or elk hair in this case. You want to wrap forward to about there. It's about halfway from where you were before. Wrap over it. Just catch it on my finger there, my rough hands. Me and deer hair don't get along in the winter time. Or thread for that matter. Alright, couple good wraps. Bring your thread back up, pull everything back to right behind the eye. Gonna wrap the same manner as you just did. Just make sure you get everything though. No hair left behind. Here we go. Couple good wraps. Just about like that. Get that one in there. Alright. Now you want to pull everything up. Like I said, this is one continuous section of elk hair for the entire fly. So, take your bucket. Make sure there's no glue on it. Pull your hair up and take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can go 4 or 6, but since I took out 5, we'll go 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks good. Alright. Holding on to it. Don't get your Sili Legs in there. Pull back. Wrap under. And up and over. Alright, that looks pretty good. Looks real good. Now that you got everything about where you want it, length is good. It could be longer, it could be shorter. You know, it's going to vary each fly. But grasp it again. Now give it some little bit of thread tension now to crank it down a little bit. It'll be making that splay out a little bit. Take your whip finisher. This is my larger one, so I can get around everything here. I very rarely use this one. It's just a little more difficult to use for some reason. There's no bend in it or anything. It's just designed just a little differently than what the one I use day in and day out. But it worked out. A little tension. Cut away the thread. Get all my things adjusted here. That looks pretty good. Came out real nice. You can pull those wings up a little bit. I'll let them up just a little bit. Get them all there. There we go. Like that. How's that? That looks pretty. Now, we're going to get the old Sally Hansons out. First we're going to do is right in behind the head here. Flip it over. Little there on the underbody. I like to get my blocking out now and get some off the tip of the brush. That's too much. Get in behind here, up on top of the body. Last thing I want to do is have a fly come apart on me on my first fish. 10th fish is okay. First fish ain't okay. You could actually, what I've done before too, is pull everything back and whip finish behind the eye there. But I had a lot of room there. If you didn't have a lot of room, you could actually pull it back and whip finish it. You can see that I've got all kind of room there behind that one there. Sometimes it gets a little crowded, and that's a way to get around that. Okay, you got 6 little antennae here. If you need to, you can cut them down to 2. But in this case, I don't think I need to. Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Okay, let's get rid of this one here. And let's get rid of this one here. Oh, got both of them. Almost got them both. Alright, let's get rid of that one there. Alright. Now, take your Sili Legs. Put 2 together. A little dab will do it. Take your finger, little roll. Take a dab of that off there. There's a little bit too much on there. There, when that all dries up, they'll stick together for you. And voila! Nice quick little fly to tie. You can float her on down there during the ant hatch. Don't think there is any ant hatch, but it looks pretty. Works well. Nice little little dry fly pattern. You can go down probably as small as an 18. Of course, you do have to use some finer deer hair for that. That's why I'm using elk hair on this big 10 hook. I like them a little bigger. They seem to imitate maybe a hopper. But this is a fire ant. A flying fire ant. Hope you approve. If you do, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Tell me what you like about it. Tell me what you don't like about it. Tell me if you ever tied anything up like this. Simple. One big chunk of hair, one hook, some thread, and some Sili Legs. Alright, thanks for checking me out. Thanks for all those who have subscribed in the past and always looking to see more subscribers. That means what I'm doing is actually worth a while. Alright, cheers. Stay safe out there. Get your line wet because it's springtime. Fish are rising and looking for your fly. See ya. Cheers.